All still getting there. I can see 1, 2. The G trying to put her around as well. She's putting down better. Think about this.
G'day punters, welcome back to the MacBet post-operation analysis video. This is take 2. I didn't press record before, so we're just going to talk about the same stuff we just did then. But introducing the boys as always, Tommy Henjak and Johnny Mcleod. Guys, how are we going this week?
Better than you were on Saturday. When Tom came on, geez, you looked a bit dusty. That pre-race thing, it was just, you looked like you were nearly going to just lay on the floor. You were that gone.
Yeah. Look, Tom did call me and woke me up for the video, so thanks to him. Yeah, like I said on Twitter, his ears were pricked. I was a little bit slow out of the gates. My eyes probably looked like 2 piss holes in the snow, but we did the video, and I think the best lays, neither of them won the race, so I think it was worthwhile.
I think both of the lays lost. However, I still
stuffed the race up.
Find a winner in the race, which seems to be a theme the last couple of weeks. Like, I'm able to pick out the favourite that's going to lose, but I still can't find the winner, which is a bit frustrating, but they'll come eventually for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And well, Saturday was interesting as well with Sunshine Coast. We've sort of had a bit of a difficult meeting there, but the boys at Ipswich managed to sort of save the day, won 9 units across the meeting. So yeah, well done to Brad and Brody, just saving the ship there.
Yeah, they killed them. They they picked the eyes out of a few races, and a few races they bailed, on horses that they liked in the morning, and they said they couldn't win, and so everything went right down there and or up there. So we definitely saved our orchestras, that's for sure, and because we were on a sinking ship up at Clounder, that's for sure and certain. But one horse I think should have won for sure, no doubt, is the grey horse. I had no doubt it should have won. And it was big odds. It was really good odds. I think it was $8. Hit about $3.50 at one stage in the morning, and then bounced back to around the $4. And I was even happy to take the $4.
Yep. Well, we'll get to that painful race. There's probably be a couple of tough watches this week when we review the Sunny Coast. But yeah, while we're talking results, really good week. 6.9 units profit, 20% profit on turnover. The yard was definitely flying the flag for us. Risked 14 units, get 11 units profit back at 77%. Stellar start to the year, guys. January up 41 units, 30% profit on turnover. Have you changed much since the end of last year, or just continued momentum?
Oh, I'd say continued momentum, I reckon that we're just picking our marks really well. I mean, it probably does help that we've been able to turn things around at Ipswich. Historically, last year was a place that we struggled, but as you said, on Saturday just gone, Brad and Brody shot the lights out there, and on the Wednesday they actually had a meeting there as well, and I think we performed pretty well there. The yard, from memory, went good. It was raining pretty heavily there, I think, and you just wanted to be coming to the middle of the track, and we picked up on the pattern pretty early, and I think we predicted the pattern to be like that beforehand, so that was pretty good in the end. And we've got Ipswich tomorrow actually, so looking forward to that.
Plenty to be excited about. No longer a graveyard. All right, guys, it's time for our weekly segment of what caught Tom's eye around the grounds in Queensland last week. Wednesday, Ipswich Australia Day, race 5. There was a bit of a plunge horse here. Tom, poetic choice.
Yeah, you'll love to see it. This horse opened up $21 the day before. Snipers were out in force in the morning time into $11 and ended up starting $6.50. I think we actually had something from the yard at that point as well. It had started raining during the meeting, so we identified that you wanted to be coming to the middle of the track, and Cornish in the black cap, the red and the blue silks. She slots in behind, which was a pretty genuine speed in front. The early times that we have available, they've gone 5 lengths in front, set up by Frad on Archery Butts and Murphy on Cincinnato. They go hell for leather in front. She just pops in there, worse in midfield, and comes to the best part of the track and wins pretty easily in the end.
Yeah, this was a case of really the yard was pushing you towards her, but the rain just made you doubt a lot of the runners in the race. You know, you had horses like Beauchamp who may have been in an awkward position, and it actually did finish up in a pretty awkward position. You had Raw Performance who were giving a chance in the morning, but it was fat, so it couldn't win. Dijonova, when the rain came, it made it further, so it can't run 1200, so it was gone. Bushido was going to be on the fence in the worst part of the track. We were giving it some hope, so you could put a line through it. Shinsino can't really run 1200, and further distance, was gone. Archery Butts is not a wet tracker. You could put a line through it. Secret Conquest was another horse that had a little hope. I thought it was back second last there. I think we threw something on it. So you had reasons to knock nearly every runner apart from the winner. So it looked well on the yard. So it was one of those races that just fell into our lap.
All right, now we're going to get into our post-operation analysis of the Sunshine Coast meeting from Saturday. Guys, how do you think the track was going to play, and did it sort of stick to that throughout the day?
From my point of view, it did play better than the rating, I would say. It was probably, around the 5. It was closer to the 5 nearly the whole day. It was, bordering on 6, and the stewards left it around the 6, I think, and then got into the 5 later. I'm pretty sure they did that. But it was one of those days again that we thought Off the Fence would have been the go, but it actually was even further out than what we thought. It was just really right out in the middle out there, sort of thing. So, it was right on the lanes where the hump was, and that's where it used to be all the time, and it just reverted right back to that. So, around that 8-9 meter mark was the best place.
All right, diving into race 1 at the Sunshine Coast from Saturday. This race was won by Wolf Moon, SP 370. We ended up having a half unit on both Happy Babe and the Lioness in the morning on the tip sheets.
In this race, there was no speed in this race at all. Pretty much punting form and ours have pretty much got it around the, around 11 slow for the first to the 600. So, they couldn't win from back in the field. None of those last 4 should have been able to win. There's a horse here, Caffrey, that's gone like a bomb. Out of the yard, I was questioning whether, for one, it was going to find the fence, and that was going to be a real problem. And the other was it probably maybe needed 1 run. But with Des Forster's horses, they always look on the newer side than being overcooked, and they race well. So it's something that I'm going to have to take into consideration, I think, because when I look at them, I'm always thinking, does it need 1 run? And a lot of the time I've been wrong with her horses. So something I've got to take into account. But this horse has gone like a bomb. They've walked in front. It's been held up. It's sprinted home. So you can see it checking there. Just got itself in a lot of trouble. Went really good. The Lioness, poor ride by Stewart. Didn't even try to work its way out, off that 2 or 3 lane. He should have been following Magic Conqueror out a little bit more and pushing it out, and then maybe getting out further. But he tried to come out. You can see him trying to come out, but then he went back inside. But then it overcooked it and went right in. And he should have been sort of, tailing the other one for a little bit and then maybe switching back in. I don't know whether he would have won or not, but I know the Grey should have. So that's about it.
Well, the Greys come from the Lioness's back. Like, there's no excuse for him not to be getting out to the best part of the track. We know that when the rail's in the true and there's been rain, you want to be getting out to that 8 to 9 meter lane. It was a pretty poor decision, I think, by Stewart. He doesn't make a lot of errors, but there were 2 pretty significant ones there on Saturday at Caloundra. I found the first 200 meters of this race pretty interesting. They went really slow in front, and Ben Thompson, I'm not sure whether he did it on purpose or whether it was by fluke, but he handed up the lead in a very, very slowly run race to sit outside the leader, and it actually played to his benefit getting out to the best part of the track. So kudos to him. I think the horse that's run 6, Luna Snit's actually gone really good. Really horrible position to be in. Horse that's looking for further ends up last on the fence in a slowly run race, and the last sectional was pretty good. Can definitely be followed this prep. It's looking for further already.
Geez, that's a horse that sickens me, because I remember it was us backing it at Eagle Farm one day, and we took about $2.50 or 60, and it started $1.40 or something like that and got beat.
Yep.
But,
Yeah, that was Larry from memory. He went forward on it and just over raced the entire time, and was really weak late.
Yeah, he's a funny looking horse, that one. He has been new in the yard. First up, he looked definitely new, and he still blew him away. He's one of those stayers that can run a sectional somehow. So if he can, hold it together, and it's, its coat just comes out a little bit next time I see it, a mile, I think it's going to be very hard to beat.
Moving on to race 2 here at the Sunny Coast. Didn't have a bet here, but Renouf got the cash. SP'd $4.60.
Yeah, this was a funny race. When I was doing the race on Wednesday or Thursday, I wanted to be with Garoppolo, but the more I thought about it, I just wasn't sure how much to penalise for him going up to 1,400 metres. The breed per Encanto, I think it is, they're pretty poor at that distance, and on the wet as well, not as effective. And he's just been so dynamic over 1,000, 1,200. It was just a big question mark for me with the inside draw for me to stay out of the race. The other thing was, on paper, there probably didn't look like there was going to be a lot of speed, but on the times here, punting form's got him going probably about even, and we've got him going a little bit faster. I think we've chosen to go with the faster one. It does make sense visually. The leaders have gone collapsed here. So the suited runners here are definitely the winner, being Renouf, Stormy Rock, those coming from worse than midfield. Garoppolo's had his chance. He was $2.60 out to $4. The market was right there. I know he's gone to the worst part of the track, but he struggled to get past Jinx and Drinks there for half the straight, and then he's hardly picking up the Cullinan, who's no star. You'd think on class alone, 2 starts back, that Garoppolo's a much better horse than the Cullinan. So I think that we can safely say from now going forward that Garoppolo, they'll keep him at that 1,200 metres speed on, let him find the line. Perhaps later in his career, when he learns a bit more about the caper, maybe perhaps he can step out in distance. But for the time being, he probably just does a little bit too much wrong in the run and in the yard for mine to be stepping out to 1,400. In saying that, I don't really want to take away what the winner's done here. I know Jenkins goes good on his home track, and he's been given the perfect ride here by Orman from the wide gate to slot in midfield one-off, but he's blown him away here in good time. The horse is absolutely flying. What stopped me chucking units on it was where he was going to get to from the gate, but Orman definitely proved me wrong. He was able to find a position pretty easily. We were on her last start at Doomben, where she ran good time in a slow run race. And she's absolutely flying, this horse. So the world is her oyster. You can probably forgive Perfect Witness. You won't see Sam Collett put in too many bad rides, but she was 3 wide cast at the back of the field in this, and it's pulled up with hard irregularity, which is, I guess, no surprise given that it was first up 3 wide. I think a horse here that's actually gone particularly well is Group Think. It's an ex-Ed O'Rourke runner for Michelle Payne now, resuming off a 90-day spell, has worked up on the speed there outside the leaders with 59 kilos and has clung on there for 4th. I think he can definitely do something in this preparation.
It was a good win by Renouf. He held together well in the yard too. Looked beautiful. Garoppolo, I'm not as harsh on Garoppolo as what you are, Tom. I just think inside there, he's in the worst part of the track. You are right that it came with, the Cullinan, and the Cullinan didn't look right in the yard for sure and certain. So it should have been able to get past it. That's the question mark. But really, the momentum with with all those other 4 up there, they were gone, and Garoppolo's trying to pick up and go again. So he's probably not as good a horse as I thought he was going to become. and the shine is off him with me, but he's still going to win races. So we'll see.
Moving on to race 3 at the Sunshine Coast 1600 meter race. We didn't have a bet here. Drive a deal, got the cash at $10.
Yes, my race. I hated this race. I thought Speed Map had a little hope. He was going to be third on the fence or around there, and that's where he was. He sort of had his chance, probably. He got squeezed up late, but the sectionals are not much good. They got to the line pretty ordinary. Don't think too many of these horses are going to win too many races. Apart from the Waller 2, they're going to get further. That's the only positive with those two. While we drink, it just pulled its head off. It's another one of Stewart's that he just couldn't let it. He couldn't get it to settle, and it just wouldn't go after that. Maybe you can forgive it, but God, what is it? I'm drawing a long bow to give it another hope, and these are no good. So I want to put a line through most of these horses here.
Yeah, there's not much to say about the race. It's pretty poor quality for an open 3-year-old race, but all credit to the winner. It's made the jump. It hadn't even broke its maiden, actually. It's come out and won here. So being by done deal, suited being up on the distance, rolling in front, and good ride by Jaden Lloyd.
All right, moving on to race 4 at the Sunshine Coast. Bit of painful viewing for us. We had 2 units on Ubiquitous in the morning at $2.45. Another unit from the yard, and then 1 unit on Legal Esprit at $3.60.
Yeah, this is a nightmare to relive here. Ever since the fields came out on Wednesday, I was very keen to play in this race. I thought Shirley would always go up pretty short price, and I was always keen to be against it. I mean, we spoke about it on the review show last time when it went round. I thought it was well suited in the win. They go out here 4.5 lengths faster than class average. When I was watching the race live, I actually thought they weren't going that fast. You see Ubiquitous find the lead there pretty easily, and Burns trying to hold on to him. Blackjack Boom, the eventual winner, great ride by Frad to just tuck in behind the leaders there who were going pretty quick in the black colours there, the tricolours. Peels it out to the outside at the right time. It was just a great ride. I'm not really sure what else to say about this race. It was just so sick. If Ubiquitous was able to repeat the first up run at Doomben, I thought it was just going to blow these away, but just wasn't able to replicate that performance. Went backwards on our ratings, which is what it did last preparation and the preparation before that. So I thought the first up run, he had improvement in the yard. So perhaps he was going to turn things around this time in, but he didn't. He went backwards. We chucked a saver on Legal Esprit. I thought that its form last preparation probably didn't deserve to back it at around $4 in the morning, but when it stepped into the yard, the wide gate, getting out to $6.50 on Betfair, I think it was definitely deserving of a bet. And I know the speed was on for it, but I think it's gone like an absolute bomb here. Definitely going to improve in the yard and can definitely one to be followed. Shirley definitely was suited. I know it was held up for a little bit of the run there, but it was the fit horse. It fell to pieces in the yard late, but I think it's pretty well exposed now. 1,000-meter horse on a big track. Not sure whether it has enough ability this preparation to be winning these 3-year-old open races. And the winner, it just keeps improving every time we see it. What we saw last preparation definitely didn't justify for me taking the early odds. I think it was $5. It was pretty friendless in the betting, so the market was kind of against it as well, given what it did last preparation. But the trials were good. It was just whether it could improve enough to win this race, and it did. So sometimes you just got to cop it on the chin when horses come out next preparation and blow you away, and definitely take a note. Can definitely be followed.
I think the problem with this race was that, as Tom said, they've gone out 3 or 4 lengths faster than average to the 600. But what they did, I think, I haven't checked this, but I think from the 600 to the 400, they haven't gone that fast. they've slowed up. And what that's done is they've worked early. They've tried to slow it up. And then the back markers who have done no work crept up doing no work and took off, like blackjack. It took off at the right time, at the right part of the track. And just look, you can see it coming out now. When they're all trying to ease, they've all worked those three in front. He's pinched a break. The inside one legal in the worst part of the track. So it's trying to go with it. And so and the one out wide is not another, which is probably not up to him. So it was just a matter of just great ride by Frad. Just took off at the right time, pinched a break, was in the better part of the track, and outplugged him. I know which horse I'd like to take home was the second one. You know, he's just a lovely horse that was going to improve out of the yard, and you know, he's going to be hard to beat next time.
Yeah, one for the video watchers is you look at him past the post, he's just absolutely flying, going away from the winner. I'm really excited to see what this legal spree can do this preparation, because he was hooked from the wide gate as well. They were pretty keen to ride him conservative. He does have a bit of tactical speed about him, so going up in distance, he's definitely one you want to be with.
Moving along to race 5. This race was won by Needorp, SP $10. We had a half unit on Racecourse Road from the yard around the $7 mark.
Yeah, it looked great. Racecourse Road, it did, you know, held together really well out of that really wet track, or that gluey track at the Gold Coast. But as you can see, it was off the track. They went along quick. They've gone about, you know, anywhere from about 5 to 6 lengths fast for that first bit. It just set it up for horses back in the field are going to run on. Needorp took a sit, which is a bit surprising, but, you know, well done to Tony Gold and the team to do that, because they've noticed that there's going to be good speed up front, and it's worked out perfect. Star Tontes, you'd think that it would have been able to win from when it got up on the inside of him here, even though it's in the worst part of the track. You'd think that it'd be the stronger horse. Sweet Bell looked a bit new in the yard, I thought. Going to improve, going well. It's come back as good as it left. And horses like We Own a Smart One, you know, race like it did at the coast. I thought it only went average there, but whether you just thought that it could improve on a wettish sort of track, but it didn't. You know, to work out what you're going to back going forward, if it'd possibly be just Sweet Bell, you know, just because it went pretty good, you know, with the way it looked in the yard, even though it has come past, you know, down the path that you wanted to come down.
Race 6 at the Sunny Coast. This was won by Shamrock Lou, SP $14, and we didn't bet here in race 6.
Yeah, theme of the day, these 1,000-meter races, they've gone very fast in front in the majority of them. They've gone anywhere from 5 to 9 lengths faster than class average in this one. Your leaders there is, well, in hindsight, Zingalong's actually gone very well, hasn't he? I was very skeptical on whether he was still with us this preparation. I thought the trial recently was ordinary, but when he stepped into the yard, he definitely had improved from what we'd seen early in the preparation. His coat had definitely turned a little, and he was walking a little bit better. So, yeah, the funny thing to say is if he doesn't savage the horse in the last 15 meters next to him when it's about to go past us, very interesting whether he would have won the race or not. I think he did it last time as well, actually. But as I said, for him to go that fast in front, sitting outside of Cherry, eyeballing it the entire time. I know Tegan does a good job of getting him to the right part of the track, but yeah, Zingalong's, I mean, you could say he's almost back to his best now. The market definitely knew. Earlier in the week, they were speccing him. I think he went up maybe $10 or $11 and started 7s. The market really came for a horse off a Ballina Class 1, I think it was, being Sweet Margot May. It was probably a horse I wanted to back. When you go up to a meeting in the car, you're always kind of thinking about how you're going to play. And this was a horse that I definitely wanted to see in the yard. But when it got backed into, I think it started about 320 on Betfair. It was just unbackable odds then, and probably saved us doing couple of units. It was definitely going to improve with this run. It was going to improve from when I saw it at Ballina. But just to take this price coming off that kind of platform, a Ballina 1,000-meter race, it was just a really, really tricky proposition. Shamrock Lou perhaps have unlocked the key to him. He's gone. I know he's been suited here, dropping back. He's the fit horse, back in the field with the hot speed, but he has found the line pretty well here. One Shy Ruby can probably be forgiven. They didn't really have any plan from the wide gate, and she's just sat out there working on a hot speed. I know it's probably end up in the worst part of the track, but it's never easy to be doing that wide on a hot speed. And probably, I think there was one that I've put a little black book on, and that's Holiday Dreams. It's a usual leader. It was first up off 176 days. Usually leads. It's now with the Heathcote stable. It was called back and wide in the field, not one of Sammy Collett's best rides.
Two things to say on this one. Is Sing Along, was walking a lot better in the yard. It wasn't as sore as what it has been in front. So that was, the reason why it's probably improved a lot. And the other one was, I was very, very lucky in this race because I was either going to back, when I was looking in the yard, I was either going to back One Shy Ruby each way or back at the place. I thought the place was just a huge bet. And you can see coming to the line, the only reason why it hasn't run third is the winners sort of pushed it into behind Zingalong, and she's had to ease with about 30 metres to go, and Zeri, or whatever it is, has stuck its head out and knocked it off when she's actually hanging on and trying to pull back. So I've only just seen that. So I think I would have been bilious going to the line after watching it, because I know there was a photo and I thought, this has run the place, I can't believe it. But now looking at it, geez, I would have been sick. So, Tom, what you're saying about Zingalong, it's I think it's improved, and it has sat on a pretty quick pace, and he's just a little bulldog. This thing just keeps on trying. And you watch it going to the line here. She got pushed in, Thornton. Now she starts to panic because she's going to be pushed in against the leader. So she grabs hold and eases that last bit, and the other one nuts it. Sickening if you're on it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like Sweet Margot May is going to be a tricky betting proposition going forward. She's got that SP profile about her. Like she started $1.70 at Ballina, now she started $3.20 in a Saturday race here. And like, I know she hasn't been disgraced that far, but she was suited given the conditions of the race. The query I had probably was going to be a wet track as well. And as John said, it ended up being a soft 5. And I know it's probably not in the best part of the track, but for me going forward, very tricky to deal with because she's going to go up short odds every time. And you're going to have to work out what odds you're prepared to take to back her.
Okay, race 7 at the Sunshine Coast from Saturday. More painful viewing here. We had 1.5 units on slow hands in the morning at $4, and then another half unit from the yard at BSP.
Yeah, this race, I was very keen to back slow hands out of the yard. It looked absolutely beautiful. Now, this horse has gone. I thought Stewart made a huge blue when I was at the track, but I've sort of backed off it. Now you can see it come out of the gates. It's the grey. Now, he's going forward. Fort Wayne's gone forward like we thought, and he's going to get over into that 5th position somewhere. That's where he's going to end up, which was perfect. But what happened was Fort Wayne gave up. For some reason, it gave up. And Brad Stewart, you can see him, he was going to niggle it and go around Fort Wayne. And then he said he was in two minds. He said, well, I go forward or I grab hold. And his second thought was grab hold, so he grabbed hold. So now he's back there. They're going 14 lengths slow for the first bit. Now here, he's going to track up into a nice spot, and it's perfect. It's just as long as he can get off the fence and get away from the inside. Now, Nolan Stewart, usually you just push him out of the way. But the horse in front of him, the thing of Heathcote's up in front and second, Warp Speed, just gives up. He didn't go. Look at it. It didn't even want to push. And when they sprinted, it couldn't sprint. So it's come back in the lap of Slow Hands, and Slow Hands got nowhere to go and comes out, and now they're sprinting. Profit's just taken off. Beautiful ride, taken off at the right time, and now everything's trying to pick up and go, including Slow Hands, who's stuck in the inside there or in amongst them. He's a big horse, and he's not a horse that can pick up and go. But once he gets out, you know, these horses are really attacking the line, these ones up in front, and it's starting to, you know, pick up. You know, it's just ridiculous. Like if Slow Hands was able to take off when Profits was behind Slow Hands at one stage, and if Fort Wayne was up in the first 2 or 3 pairs, or first 2 or 3 horses, like it should have been, Slow Hands would have been by itself running 5th. It would have been peeling around in the right part of the track and saying goodbye. It was the most just sickening watch I have watched this year, which has only gone for 30 days or whatever, but it was a strong one. It was a strong one.
Bad beat of the year, summed up after 1 month. There you go.
Oh, well, what about me being on it each way?
Each way. That's worse.
Like I was just absolutely sick. Like, and because if you're a monthly subscriber, you do have access to our prices that are adjusted after the yard, and we had warp speed shorter than the market as well. And I just thought it was going to get a suck run on the lead there, and they've gone slow. It's sat outside the leader and absolutely given up. So not sure what's going on there, but I've done my absolute balls on the race, and it was a very tough watch and not many explanations after it.
Race 8 at the Sunshine Coast. Brace yourself for some more painful viewing. We had 1 unit each way, Oscar Zulu in the morning, $7.50 mark. And then I don't think we had any bets from the yard.
No, we didn't, James. Yeah, tough watch here. I kind of always thought Scalapini was going to find the lead. From the wide gate, they didn't really have a choice on what to do. As you can see out wide, Boris Thornton, the black and green proven thoroughbred colours, slides across coming out of a pretty strong 1200 Gold Coast race behind, I think it was Isotope from memory. He sits out the side the leader in Animate. The times here actually suggest that they go pretty hard in front, which is surprising because to the eye, I didn't think they were going too hard. So in hindsight, Scalapini's actually done a pretty good job to lead them up here and hang on there. It gives the bet that we had, Oscar Zulu, not many excuses, to be honest. She's on the back of him. I know the horse that we are on is Oscar Zulu in the red and the purple colours, by the way. She probably does make a blue coming around Hale Manhattan, who sat 3 wide the trip. She's probably lost a length there trying to pick up again, but she does find the best part of the track. And Scalapini sat outside the lead in a hot tempo and kicked on there and still won. So I don't think you can be too critical of the ride of Steph Thornton. I think she pretty much has given it every possible. If I had the bet again, definitely having the bet again. At the each way odds, 750, 230 or something like that. Started much shorter, and to be honest, I probably would have taken shorter. I think it's a pretty nice horse, this Oscar Zulu. Earlier in the week, I was just always going to be happy to be against the Harrovian and Desert Lord. I don't think Desert Lord is as effective at 1400 meters as he is at 1200. He had 3 trials going into the run. That's something I'm never really a big fan on. He probably has been suited given the tempo of the race going back, but I mean, Maloney probably has come back to the worst part of the track when he could have come wide, kind of followed Oscar Zulu into the race. So perhaps he probably could have finished a little bit closer. Jury's still out for me whether he's up to 1400 meters at this level. What do you say about the Harrovian? I think I learnt my lesson last start that I was never going to back him again. And I know he's probably in the worst part of the track here, but just with 60 kilos now, it's just so hard for him to sprint with these ones that are up and coming down on 54. It's going to be really hard for the Edmonds team to place him in the future. It was just a race that I was always happy to bet into. And I just underestimated Scalapini's ability, I think.
surprisingly, to the eye, there's no doubt that they look like they haven't gone that fast. And but both, the punting form and ours have got it going, 6.3 fast and 6.4 fast. So they're pretty much on the money. And, it just surprises me. If you didn't have sectionals and times, you would be thinking, well, anything that's run on here has probably gone okay, including the horse that you've backed, Oscar Zulu time. But as you say, it's had every chance by the look of it. One horse that I didn't notice this morning when I was going through this is the way that Victory 8 went. That's it out of the picture out wide. It looked beautiful in the yard, and he's an old horse that when he comes together, he can win at 50s and 60s and all that sort of stuff. And geez, he attacked the line. He, they did go fast, but it was, really, I'm sort of looking at it. I was thinking when it was in the yard, I thought, geez, this horse looks good, and it's race like.
It's like you just got to be like, there's going to be a race in him somewhere, and you just got to assess whether he's going to be value or not. He'll probably go round at hundreds, and if he's on a big track with speed on, I dare say he probably shouldn't be a hundreds chance. Hal Manhattan's probably one you can definitely forgive. I think it was only second or third up, and I think they've publicly said the grand final's probably in 4 or 6 weeks' time. So definitely forgive it off this effort. East Asia's still going well. I think it's just a hard horse to catch because he can be slow away, settles in the rear of the field. Hard Empire. I'm not really sure what they do with it now. I think you've got to tip it out or give it a little bit of a freshen up. It's raced pretty plain here. It's probably not as effective at 1400, but they're going to have to freshen it up and put it back to 1200 somewhere.
Tarzan went all right. I think you said that it, was really trained up at the coast, and it was, but he's had no luck there, and he's in amongst them, nowhere to go, and he's gone to the line a little bit hard hell. So
he's another one though, but he's one of these. He's 106 raider, and he's going to be carrying 60 kilos in these open class handicaps. It's just they're just really different. Once they win a few races, they're just really, really difficult to place.
Okay, race 9 at Sunshine Coast from Saturday. We had 2 bets in the morning. We had a half unit on Hilo at $9.50 and then half unit on Boomtown Lass at $10. Both bets unsuccessful. Mass Destruction got the cash there, $2 SP.
Yeah, this race, looking when you're in the yard, if you sort of had, if I would have had mass destruction at about $2.20 or $2.10, I probably would have had 4 units on it. The way it looked absolutely beautiful, but I knew I couldn't get it. I forced it at the finish to get to about 270, and on our ratings, he's probably improved. He's got about 2 points better, which doesn't really surprise me on his coast run. But what it says is that we were too bullish on a lot of these other horses, including one was the one that's tailed out there, Hilo. It came out last and it just didn't perform. And Boomtown Lass, I was trying to forgive its runs, and I thought it would lead easy, and it didn't lead. So that was a bugger. That was gone. And the rest of them are going around and not going real good. And, the second horse, Explosive Quality, just had the right run. Oh, well, they did go along okay from this race. It's another race that, to the eye, they don't look to be going very fast, but they have gone okay. But Mass Destruction pulled out to the middle part of the track, the right part, and was able to get them down. Just on yard, just wins, and probably the second horse is a bit unlucky in that they've gone out a little bit faster than what initially you would have thought he did, and that's surprising because of, as I said, looking at it, just on your eye, they don't seem to have gone fast, but both sectionals, punting form and ours, have said that they're going out pretty quick.
It's interesting. It's important to note, though, that not only did it look beautiful in the yard, you got to compare it to how it's been its entire career. It's a horse that could be very playful in the yard, get a little bit stirred up, but on Saturday, it was really well behaved, and its coat was absolutely magnificent. You just couldn't fault it, and it almost looked like a completely new horse. and the market was absolutely bang on. Ever since the markets went up, I think it was 270 in the morning, and it started 220 on Betfair, so probably $2, $1.95 on the corp. So they've absolutely nailed it. But as John said, it's been suited by the way the race has been run, just tucked in behind the pretty good speed and come to the right part of the track. So it's going to be a very funny race to dissect and price going forward, because as we've spoken about before, on our repricing kind of model that we have, it's definitely not run like a 220 shot the way we look at things.
Yeah, I'm just looking at that.
Explosive quality is the horse that you probably want to be with going forward, but it's pulled this run out of its arse, to say the least, given what it's done in its career. But it is a horse that can run a race on its day when they let it run.
Yeah, just looking at our repricing, we've got it, $4.60 mass destruction. So, it's weird in that it's totally based on how fast they've gone up front. So, yeah, there's a few races here in this meeting that are going to do a few people's heads in trying to work out what to do, because, as I said, to the eye, it's completely different to what the time figures are actually saying.
All right, that concludes the boys' post-operation analysis of the meeting at the Sunny Coast. Guys, as we always do, I'll get the runner to follow out of the meeting from you. Let's start with Tom.
Yep, I'm going to go race 4, the race where I did my absolute balls. We're going to go Legal Esprit, the second horse. Can't wait to see it up in distance. Hopefully draws a soft gate. Should just be winning wherever it goes, I think.
John.
Caffrey in the first race went like a bomb. They were very unlucky not to get the cash. They backed it and they missed, but maybe they might be able to get it next time.
How many lengths should it have won by?
2.5.
2.5.
If it gets through the first time, I think it just wins, and that's saying something, because they've gone 12 lengths slow. So they've sprinted, and if he would have got through at the right time and tracked up, I think he might have thought 2's being probably too much, 1.5, and that's against the seconds. So he's gone like a bomb.
Yep, agree there.
All right, well, there's your two to follow out of the meeting, guys. That is Legal Esprit and Caffrey. There's a huge week of racing for us. We've got a full schedule again, thank goodness. I was going crazy on those days when there was no racing on. We've got IPSWICH tomorrow. We've sort of climbed the mountain there a little bit. Results have turned around, fingers crossed, and touching wood. I don't want to jinx it. Friday, Sunny Coast. Saturday, we're back to HQ at Doomben and the Gold Coast, and then Sunday back up here at the Sunshine Coast.
Sweet, looking forward to it.
Sounds good.
Let's get that bread
and butter.
Very good, guys. Thanks everyone for watching. As always, head to macbet.com.au to get all our info. But thanks, guys. Cheers.
Thanks, fellas.
Sweet, thanks.